Hey guys, today I'm showing you 5 Premiere Pro effects that you absolutely need in your toolbox for music videos. Let's hop right into it. Let's begin with our first effect, which is a simple but clean split screen transition. Start by preparing the 2 clips you want to use. Next, go to the effects panel at the top and search for the crop effect. Drag and drop the crop effect onto both of your clips. Now select the first clip and go to the Effect Controls panel. We're going to create a quick animation here. Move forward 5 frames and set a keyframe for the position. Then scroll down to the crop section. Add keyframes for both the left and right crop values. Now move forward 10 more frames. At this point, change both the left and right crop values to 25%. Then go back up to position and shift the clip slightly to the right side so that it lines up nicely. That's it for now. You should see the beginning of a smooth split screen reveal. Now let's move the playhead back to the first keyframe we created. As you can see, this is where the animation begins. Next, grab your second clip and place it on the track below the first one, starting exactly where the playhead ends. We're going to follow the same process as before. Select the second clip and in the Effect Controls panel, add a keyframe for the position. Now drag the clip all the way to the left until it disappears completely from the screen. Then move the playhead 10 frames forward. Now shift the clip back into view by adjusting the position value, but this time we're going to leave a slight gap between the 2 clips. Scroll down to the crop section again. Set new keyframes for both the left and right sides, and right away change both crop values from 0% to 25%. You might notice the gap is now a bit too wide, so just go back to the position settings and make a small adjustment to bring the clips a little closer together. To add a bit more energy to this transition, let's include a shake effect. Start by going to your project panel. At the bottom, click on New Item and then select Adjustment Layer. Just hit OK to create it with the default settings. Now drag that adjustment layer onto your timeline. Place it exactly where you want the shake effect to start. Next, count 5 to 6 frames forward, then make a cut at that point and delete the rest of the layer. You should now have a short adjustment layer right where the transition happens. Now head over to the effects panel. I'm going to use my own custom shake preset called Shake with Flash. You can simply drag it onto the adjustment layer, and if you'd like to use the same preset, I've added a download link for it in the description below with my other preset packs. Grab a bunch of clips or screenshots lasting 2 frames. Adjust the position and scale of the first clip. You can use Properties panel or Effect Controls panel. It's up to you. This clip will be used as a reference. Now click on Settings and choose Safe Margins to overlay a grid on top of your footage, then press Ctrl R to open up the ruler. Use the ruler to make another grid around the subject. Go through clip by clip, changing the position and scale using the grid lines as a guideline. Apply directional blur to the first clip. Toggle blur length and set value to 7. Go forward 1 frame and change value to 0. Select directional blur and copy by pressing Ctrl C. Highlight the rest of the clips and paste the effect by pressing Ctrl V. For this next effect, you can prepare as many clips as you like. We'll be creating a mask out effect, also known as a freeze frame cutout. I already have my masked out images ready, so we don't waste time. But I'll walk you through one example so you can see how it's done. First, place your playhead at the beginning of the second clip, right where you want the effect to start. Now we're going to take a screenshot of this frame. To do that, click on the small camera icon right here, then hit OK and Premiere will save the image to your computer. You'll want to repeat the same process for as many times as you plan to use the mask out slide effect. Next, let's head over to this website. Don't worry, this isn't a sponsored ad. I wish. Click on Upload Image and then find your saved screenshot from Premiere in your files. Click Open and wait a few seconds while the website automatically removes the background for you. If you're not happy with the result, you can use the Erase and Restore tools to fine-tune the cutout manually. Once you're satisfied with the result, click Download and make sure to choose the free version. Now we're ready to go back into Premiere Pro. Alright, now let's bring our masked out image into Premiere. On your keyboard, press Ctrl+I to open the import window. Find the cutout image you just downloaded, the one without the background. Select it and click Import. You will now see the image appear in the project panel. Drag it onto your timeline, placing it right at the beginning of the second clip, just like we talked about earlier. As you can see, the image looks smaller than the original clip. That's just because of the resolution, but don't worry, it's a quick fix. Go to the Effect Controls panel and simply scale it up until it matches the size of your original video. Now let's move forward about 5 or 10 frames, depending on how fast you want the effect to be. In this example, I'll go with 5 frames. Once you reach that point, make a cut and delete the rest of the image layer. Finally, take this masked out freeze frame and move it above to the very end of the first clip. And now you should have something like this. Now you can go ahead and repeat the exact same steps for the rest of your masked out objects. Now that we have the basic structure ready, let's move on to animating the effect. Go to the Effects panel and search for Transform. Then drag the transform effect onto each of your freeze frame layers. Let's start with the first freeze frame. Move the playhead to the last frame of the layer and set a keyframe on the position. Then go back to the first frame of that layer and move the object completely off screen to the left. Now scroll down and uncheck the box that says Use Composition's Shutter Angle. Then change the shutter angle to 250. Now you will have something like this. You can repeat the same process for the other freeze frame layers. Just feel free to change the direction of the slide. And to bring even more energy, we will add a hit. Start by adding a new adjustment layer. Drag it onto your timeline and count about 5 to 6 frames forward. Make a cut and delete the rest. Now move the adjustment layer to the exact spot where you want the effect to hit. Since this is already a pretty dynamic transition, I don't want anything too crazy here. Just a nice finishing touch. So I'll use a preset from my Shakecut pack, and under the Hits section I'm choosing one called Subtle Hit. Just drag and drop it onto the adjustment layer, and once that's done, simply duplicate the layer if you want to reuse the hit later in the edit. And there you go, a clean, simple, but always effective transition that works in pretty much any type of edit. First, prepare 3 clips of the exact same length and place them on top of each other in your timeline, just like you see here. Next, we're going to nest each clip individually. Right-click on the bottom clip, choose Nest, and give it a name or number so it's easy to recognize later. Then click OK. Repeat the exact same process for the middle clip and then the top clip. Now double-click to open the bottom nested sequence. This next step is really important. At the top menu, go to Sequence and choose Sequence Settings. Here we'll be changing the frame size. What you want to do is divide the vertical resolution by 3. So for example, my current frame height is 2060 pixels. When I divide that by 3, I get 720. If your resolution is 1080p, then you would enter 360. Once you've calculated your value, hit OK to apply the change and return to the main timeline. Now repeat the same process for the other 2 nested clips. Now you'll probably notice that on your program monitor you can only see 1 clip, not all 3 stacked on top of each other. To fix this, simply go to the Effect Controls panel and adjust the position values for clip 1 and clip 3. The middle clip stays exactly where it is, no changes needed. Move clip 1 up and clip 3 down, so all 3 are evenly stacked and visible on screen. Now let's go one step further. We'll double-click each of the nested clips again. This allows us to adjust the position of the footage inside each sequence. This is helpful if you want to fine-tune the framing or line things up in a way that looks best for your layout, so take a moment to position each clip exactly how you like it. Once you're happy with the placement, just go back to the main timeline and you're good to go. The last thing we'll do is add a slide in motion to each clip. Let's start with the middle one. Go to the Effect Controls panel and under the Transform effect, set a keyframe for position at the beginning. Now move the clip completely off screen to the left. Then move 4 frames forward and hit Reset on the position to bring the clip back to its original place. After that, make sure to uncheck Use Composition's Shutter Angle and set the shutter angle to 150 for some nice motion blur. Now just stay where you are with the playhead and click on clip 1, so that's the bottom one. Go 4 more frames forward, then set a keyframe on position. This time, move the clip off screen to the right. Now go 4 more frames ahead and click Reset on the position to bring it back. Just like before, uncheck Use Composition's Shutter Angle and set the shutter angle to 150. For the last clip, we're going to repeat the exact same process. Click on the top clip, clip 3, and move your playhead 4 frames forward from the previous keyframe. Add a position keyframe and move the clip off screen to the left. Then go 4 frames forward, hit reset on position, and once again uncheck use composition's shutter angle, setting it to 150. And that's it. Now all your clips slide in with smooth motion. This next one is a super quick invert flash effect. Start by preparing as many clips as you want to use. Then go to the project panel, click on new item, select adjustment layer and hit OK. Drag the adjustment layer onto your timeline. Now count 6 frames forward, make a cut and delete the rest of the layer. Next, move that short adjustment layer right between 2 clips. That's where the flash will hit. Now go to the effects panel and search for invert. Drag the invert effect onto your adjustment layer. In the effect controls, find blend with original. Set a keyframe at the beginning with the value at 100%. Then move forward 3 frames and set the value to 0%. This will create the actual flash. Finally, at the end of the layer, hit reset to go back to the default look. Select all keyframes and apply ease in for a smoother transition. Now you can duplicate this adjustment layer to other clips, and that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.